Ohm's law is the relationship between current, voltage, and resistance.
Well, how does that work?
Well, if you have two known variables, voltage and resistance, you can solve for current. And right up here, if you know current and resistance, you can solve for voltage. On this equation, you could rearrange it, and if you know voltage and current, you can solve for resistance.
Oh my! That's why you don't put this in the outlet and why I can't use this in France.
Yup. Here in America, our outlets output 120 volts, but overseas, generally they output 240 volts. So if you use American electronics over there, it can cause a current overload, which can destroy your devices.
Guys, stick with us. In a second, we're gonna conduct an experiment to prove Ohm's law.
To perform this experiment, we used a breadboard, a variable power supply, 3 different resistors, some 18 gauge wires, and a multimeter acting like an ammeter. We connected the positive terminal of the power supply to one side of the resistor, connected the resistor to an ammeter, which acts as a wire and measures the current running through that wire, and then connected the other end of the ammeter to a wire connected to the ground on the power supply. We changed the settings on the power supply so that it would output a DC voltage with a value that we chose. The values we chose were 8, 10, 12, and 14 volts to ensure we didn't have too high of a current. This setup is equivalent to the loop in this diagram. After we recorded the current measurements from the multimeter, we repeated the experiment 2 more times with different resistors. Since we set the value of the DC voltage and we knew the nominal values of the resistance, we had a very good idea of what the current should be, and all of our measurements fell within the 5% tolerance on our resistors that we chose.
For our experiment, we ran trials at 3 different resistances, 471 ohms, 561 ohms, and 681 ohms. In each of those, we measured it at 4 different voltages, 8 volts, 10 volts, 12 volts, and 14 volts. As the voltage increased, the current passing through the resistors also increased. When you graph current on the y-axis and voltage on the x-axis, because of the equation I equals V over R, the slope of the line should be 1 over R. As a result, all of these best fit lines, which are the experimental value of 1 over R, are within 5% of the value of 1 over R given by the resistor. As a result, there's clearly a proportional relationship between voltage and current, and as a result, Ohm's law is proven.
Bonjour. My battery's dead. Oh no, I left my adapter at home in America. Oh well. Oh,